Flow Trading Team, and then it's powered by Octa FX. Octa, formerly known as Octa FX. Good morning, guys. How are we doing today? We're about 10 on this Zoom call. How are we doing today? Has been a trading week. Mayowa, Bolaji, David, Eyitayo, iPhone, Kings, Oluwabusayo Ade, Ola, Suleiman, Wealth. How are we doing today? Has been a trading week so far. I was yesterday. Hope you're able to make some gain from the markets. And if peradventure you didn't, it's still another day. Of course, yesterday was fire. That's interesting. That's good to know. That's good to know. So welcome, guys. Welcome back to our market color session for the London session this morning. I like us to do something before we proceed. And it's the usual thing we do, right? We are bringing so much value to this session. I'd like us to copy the link in the chat box in less than 3 to 5 seconds. It will be dropped there. Copy the link from the chat box and share to your story, share to your IG, share to individuals you know that they are trading enthusiasts, share to as many as possible, guys. Those you know that need this session, share to them as many as possible. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm anticipating that we're going to run this number up to the upside this morning. You can do well to share to them. Oladipo, I didn't see you. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So this morning we'll be going through analysis and checking some of the pairs on our charts. But today we'll be dealing with indices, and by indices I mean US 30, NAS 100, and S&P 500. And also my colleague will be coming up shortly after I'm done to take on the commodity currencies, the commodity asset class. We'll be looking through that asset class. All right, guys, I want us to do that quickly. The link is already in the chat box. Just do well to share the link to as many as possible, right? Thank you so much. Let's head straight into the chart. And see what we're looking at this morning. Let's head straight into the chart. All right. I believe you can see my screen now. Kindly confirm to me if you can see my screen. Kindly confirm if you can see. Of course, I think you can see it now. I believe you can see my screen now. Let's go straight to let's start with US 30, right? We're starting with US 30. Now we'll be seeing what the market has done so far. All right, guys, we remember last week that we were somewhere around here when price was still trying to materialize for this buy movement. What did we see? We saw that price tested this support level. Sorry, let me use a box so we can see it clearly. Price tested this support level, tapped further into the fair value gap, which we anticipated, tapped into this fair value gap, and then from there saw a retest on this level, and then it's continue the buy movement to the upside. So looking at we just have to bear with our trading view. Since it clears the markup by itself, then let's do well with it. Try and draw it back again. So what are we expecting for now after this whole drama that's happened? I'm anticipating the buy movement to resume. Very soon. I've seen a retest. I was expecting this guy to be taken out, but however, price couldn't. Couldn't take it out, right? Price, I've not been able to take out this level because there's enough of imbalance below that we're expecting price to come on fill. However, price have not done that yet. Let's draw the fib of the recent swing we've been seeing. This downswing, the fib point. This is the point A to B and A to C. Yeah, this guy here. Okay. So what are we expecting? Why are we saying the buy will continue? For now, we're looking for a push above the. Okay. So why am I saying I'm going to expect a buy? I've seen price tapped into this level here and then even tapped into this other block and then started buying to the upside. I've seen bought, broke this structure, mini structure level on 4 hours and then retested that structure level and then continued to the upside. What am I waiting for? If eventually price is going to still sell, want to sell from a premium level, right? Want to sell from a premium level in the market, that's 68.8 or 78.6 region, somewhere around there, and then continue the sell to the downside because we have potential of the sell going even further to the downside because of the volume, the imbalance, I mean to say, and the inefficiency in price that's been created for a while now. So that's built up so much momentum that price can eventually start tanking to the downside. Have enough reason to go to the downside. However, we don't want to just jump into that sell for now. We want to buy into this region, buy into 50% level region, to almost tap that region, but haven't done that yet. And then also the 61.8 level region, tap into that, look for a fair value gap, a liquidity, double top, double bottom, double top, yes. Tap into that liquidity. You have a run on liquidity, and then from there it's forced to the downside. You're expecting that to happen for a while now. So on a daily time frame, on a short time frame, yes, in a short bias, I'm looking for a buy, right? A buy to sell model on an intraday basis. That's the right words to say. On an intraday basis, I'm looking for a buy to sell model, meaning I'm going to buy this all the way and then sell it once I see that confirmation, right, from the daily time frame. Let me check on 4 hours. Is there anything interesting on 4 hours? Look at our price respected our key level very well. Respected our key level perfectly. Let me change this to allow all time frame. Okay, so on 4 hours, let's see what the market is doing. The 4 hour time frame. Okay, you see what I'm saying? We have enough reason to push to the upside. We have enough reason. This is an imbalance, right? Fair value gap, inefficiency, anyone you call it, on this time frame, 50%, around this 50% level. Yeah, let me mark that out. I have enough excuse to go to the upside. This is one, and then this is the second one around the 80.61.8 level, right? I think I want to go for this. Enough imbalance here. Will serve as an excuse for price to push to the upside. If this happens, then we're going to buy from this region to this point, and then from there we can start considering a sell to continue this short-term sell trend that started forming. For now, we can use that to continue. However, if we see a break, if price fails to honor this Fibonacci level, if this Fibonacci level gets violated, then we want to assume that we've resumed back our original trend, which was a buy market that we all know, because from daily time frame we know that we've been bullish. We are so bullish on the daily time frame. We are so bullish on the daily time frame that it's obvious. But we know we have been overbought for a long time now. Price is just struggling to and start correcting to the downside. So for a while now, what am I looking for today on as of today on US30 intraday basis? I'm looking to buy, right? I'm going to be buying US30 in anticipation of it moving to this level I've marked on 4-hour time frame. And if we scale down even to 1-hour time frame, we're going to see other confluences that will support our buy bias that we're going to use to enter this market, and then from there we sell it off to the downside. Let's check on the 2 hours time frame and see what you're seeing. Anything special there? No, it's still the same thing as the 4 hours time frame. This beautiful fair value gap, I'm anticipating that it will be filled. It will be filled probably today by the time New York market open comes. You should see that volume pumping into the market, and then going to feel all of this imbalance that we are seeing in price. So that's all for USDT. We'll be moving to NAS 100 to see analysis on NAS. Analysis on NAS. Okay, NAS has broken structure to the upside. Interesting. Has broken structure to the downside, I mean to say. Okay, so if we draw the recent swing, of this cell structure that was formed. This is 50.0, 61.8 level. I'm looking at this other block, probably tap into this other block, and then from there we see it down to the downside. Tap into this other block, and then it down to the downside. I'm anticipating that for it to happen. As we all know, price have a lot of imbalance to fill the downside. So I'm anticipating this to happen. Tap into this other block from a daily time frame perspective. Anticipating this to happen. Then on the 4 hours, what are we looking at? There's enough volume to be filled. Enough. Interesting. This is quite interesting. All right, I might be selling. I will be selling NAS when it comes to this level here. Around this level, I'll be selling NAS to the downside. Provided I see my entry signature, I'm going to be selling NAS to the downside. But for today, what am I looking at? I'm looking at a buy on both NAS 100 and also US30, right? Because of the price action we're seeing. Ultimately, we are going to sell. We're looking for a sell probably on Wednesday, Thursday. I might be looking for a sell by that time, because I believe price will have materialized to those levels I marked out earlier. But for now, I'm looking for a buy up onto those levels, right? I'm looking for a buy into this fair value gap, into this other fair value gap here, so that price will give me a good point to start selling from. So that's what I'm looking at on 1 hour. In anticipation on 1 hour, nothing really. Price is struggling around this support region. Or is it resistance region now? Right? Price is struggling around there. Once it breaks this resistance, turns to support to continue to the upside. Right? If that happens, then we want to join these buyers here. Is there entry model for us here? According to your entry model, you can just look for a model to join, right? Once it shows up, you can look for your model, and then you join to the upside, buying these guys up onto this fair value gap, and then ultimately from the fair value gap, you want to sell. Want to start selling it. Because on the daily time frame, it's already in the premium level. 61.8 is already a premium level. They're just waiting further, and there's this daily fair value gap here. There's this daily fair value gap. Price might just mitigate 50% of this fair value gap and then drop, right? Price might just mitigate 50% of this fair value gap, and then we see it dropping sharply to the downside. So That'll be all for today on NAS 100 and S&P and US30. This one I've been mentioning S&P 500. Let's check S&P 500. Okay, there's something interesting here. S&P 500 already mitigated the fair value gap, already filled the fair value gap. However, we've not seen that happen on NAS. We've not seen that happen on NAS. It's quite interesting. So we're waiting for NAS own to happen, probably 50% of the fair value gap, or a tap into the fair value gap, and then we see that sharp drop to the downside. However, if that happens, then you want to look for a specific entry model and then join the sellers to sell this market. If you don't have a model yet, I think you want to send us a DM, WhatsApp DM to our number, and we are going to get you onboarded for our FX Bootcamp course, where we teach you all models you can use to enter this market. Where we teach you all the models you can use to enter this market. So that'll be all for our analysis today on US30 and NASDAQ, and also S&P 500. If you have any question in the chat box, I believe you can ask a question. You can type your question in the chat box very fast. You can do that very, 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 very fast. You can do that very fast right about now. If you have any question, you can begin to type them in the chat box. And for those that are interested in joining us to take these trades we take, US30, NAS 100, even currency pairs, right? You can send us a message on our WhatsApp line, on our Telegram line. Once you've followed all the instruction in the chat box, right? The first one is to click the link and sign up with our preferred broker, which is Opta, and then fund your account with at least 500, say 500, 300, 1,000, 10,000, $6,000. By the time you're done funding, just take a screenshot of that funding and then send to our Telegram. One person from the team, a team member, is going to attend to you, and then you'll be added to the Telegram group. You'll be added to the Telegram group. All right, good news, guys. Good news, guys. Good news, good news. I am sure most of us weren't expecting such at all from us. But we've been seeing a lot of anticipation. A lot of people have been asking, when are you guys going to do this for us? When are you guys going to do this for us? I believe we are now here and we want to do it. We want to do it. Guys, we'll be coming live to Abuja. We'll be having a traders boot camp in the city of Abuja, live with everybody on ground. Live training, live TDA, live market color, live session. You can ask your question live and direct. You can bring all of your inquiries live and direct. We'll be coming to the city of Abuja. If somebody is excited, please let us see our chat. Let's see your favorite emoji in the chat box if you're excited about this. I know a lot of people have asked us, when are you guys coming to Abuja? When are you coming to Lagos? When are you coming to Calabar? When are you coming to, of course, I've seen Lagos people. We are coming, guys. We're coming down. We are coming. We are taking it step by step. In fact, we are going to London too. We are taking it step by step. We're going to the city of Abuja in the month of May 30 and 31st. We are coming to the city of Abuja. Lagos people, we are also coming. We are also coming. The time and date to be announced. The time and date to be announced very, very soon, right? We are also coming. But for now, we are coming to the city. We are going to the city of Abuja. We're going to the city of Abuja for Traders Bootcamp. That will be the first of its kind in the city of Abuja. The first of its kind, live trading section, live analysis, live breakdown of everything you need to succeed in the Forex industry, right? In the Forex market, in the financial market, everything you need to be successful in this market will be discussed there. So this is an announcement. You can begin to make that, tell as many as possible. You want to see Mr. Ejimi Olufukeji, you've had questions, you want to see CJ, you've been longing to see Abby, you've been longing to see Lekon. Of course, you're a fan of Cynthia, just come along. You're going to see them live and direct. Ask all of your questions. I believe they are here. They'll be there to answer every single question you have. Every single question you have. So let the news fly, guys. We are coming to the city of Abuja. We'll be coming to the city of Abuja. So guys, we'll be going on a short break, a 3 to 5 seconds break, and then my colleague will be coming up to do an analysis on commodity pairs, on the commodity assets. So guys, that will be all. Like we all know,
All right, so welcome back to the second part of today's market color session. I know you already heard the good news, so I'm sure you're all hyped. And I see some questions here. How long will the training be for? It's going to be 2 days long, but more details will be shared on our social media platforms. So make sure you're following our Instagram and our WhatsApp to get the full details on what the training will entail and how long it will last for, especially the dates as well. With that being said, let us jump into business. So we're going to be looking at UCAD as usual. When you see me, you know that's what I'm touching on. But yeah, let's get into business. So what do we see here on AUDUSD? Looking at the daily time frame, you can see clearly that AU is to the downside. So most times I tend to just start from my 4-hour time frame to get my intraday basis. But you could also see how the bearish move on AU on the daily time frame is pretty clear. The same thing we have on our 4-hour time frame as well. This is also down, right? So what do I see here? In as much as it is down, I see that my momentum is right here. So we could be seeing a little bearish movement down here before we now see something different, right? Because if you're looking at the most recent swing which price formed here, you could say it's safe to say that it's a buy swing that was formed on the 4-hour time frame of AUDUSD. However, because our sunshine is already here and no sunshine has been printed on the downside, for the 4-hour time frame, we still have more room to go down. But looking at the 1-hour time frame, what do we see? So on the 1-hour time frame, we already have a sunshine printed. So this is what I think is going to happen on AU 1 hour. I'm expecting a bit of a reversal. So AUDUSD is going to most likely reverse a bit, maybe into the external band of this trend that I have here before it now sells into my momentum, which we have here. However, because that's printed a buy sunshine, I could even look for entries to start buying AUDUSD till it reverses to a point where I expect the sellers to come in, right? That's how simple the all-weather strategy can be. It helps you catch reversals. It helps you go along with the trend, whichever you see when you open your chart. So I already see my sunshine printed here. I could be looking for room to buy it a little bit before it now continues its sell move back into this momentum, right? Yeah, from here, I just pretty much go down to my 1 hour time frame, and I'll be looking to mark out some very specific levels. So yeah, I have that now. I'm going to have to push this guy downward because it is blocking my view. But yeah, I'm going to mark out 4 levels here, which I'm going to be watching for AUDUSD to react at. The first one being what we have right here. The second one, which is now my yesterday's low. Oh, that didn't even mark out, so I'm going to correct that. So looking at the 5-minute time frame now and where my trend line is, if I want to catch that buy move, I'm going to be kind of careful with it because the trend line is really close. So entering that trade might not even be worth it. Trying to catch a reversal right now might not exactly be worth it. But of course, you know that AUDUSD could just break above this retest, come here, clear this level, and trade all the way into the weekly high before it now drops, right? However, what I'm going to be doing right now is waiting. So I'm going to wait on my 1 hour time frame. I caught this sell move yesterday, which I basically from the 1 hour time frame, I call it my type 1 entry. I took the sell from this point, and I think the trade finally closed this morning actually, all the way down here, right? So I'm not going to jump back into the market because I already took a trade on this guy. So I'm just going to wait for a reversal back to give me another entry. And if I see my specific entry criteria to continue the sell move, just that's what I'll be doing. But for now, following the rules of weather, I already see the sunshine here. So I'm expecting a reversal, most likely to this level. We could trade all the way here, could break above this level, trade all the way to this high before it drops back into my momentum, right? So yeah, I'm going to be waiting. Personally, I'm going to be waiting. But for you who is watching, rather, you're looking at the sunshine printed here. So you could just wait and see if price holds around this level, right? You could start. Let me check the 1 minute time frame to see if there's any form of entry formed already. All right, so for us to have entered this AUDUSD buy, this was our entry point, which is still very, very close to entry actually. It already broke above and retested. So this is exactly where I've entered AUDUSD buy. So if you're looking and you want to catch the reversal of AUDUSD, this is a good entry point. But for me, I would wait for price to trade back into either my trend or my yesterday's high, and then I would continue selling if I see my exact entry pattern. If not, then I'll be watching to see if price keeps buying. There's a relevant level which you see here on the daily time frame actually. So you see how this sunshine has been printed to continue buying, right? But it hasn't printed the sell sunshine yet. That's on the daily time frame, of course. So if price buys all the way and it breaks above this level, if price breaks above this level, the most likely area I'm seeing AU going to is this trend, the trend we have all the way up here. So from where price currently is to where price most likely will be going to, provided it breaks this high, we have 279 pips, which is a lot of pips, right? So I'm going to see if price breaks this level, then and retest, I could buy all the way to this trend, provided my lower time frames also agree with me. But what do we see on the 4-hour time frame, as earlier mentioned, was still down. But on the 1 hour time frame, we see a bearish move, a bullish move rather, because price has broken above our Keltner channels, and the down move break we see is not exactly clear because it's just the sunshine we see. We don't see very clear break of structures to the downside. So I could wait for price to reverse and then, sorry about that, I could wait, I could enter the buy, but I'm not going to enter personally. Well, you could enter the buy and then target this level, which is about 27 pips. So you need to make sure your SL is also tight. If you're going in for a trade with your first TP could be 27 pips, then your SL should be around 13 pips thereabouts. So it is worth it. It has to be a tight SL, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for AUDUSD. We're going to look at USDCAD next. And the bullish move on USDCAD on this time frame is clear. The same thing on the 4-hour time frame. However, when you look at the 4-hour time frame and zoom in a bit, you'd see that price has broken below our Keltner channels to the downside, right? And this looks like a retest back into momentum before it now gives a final move downward, most likely into the trend. So this one I'm seeing on the 4-hour time frame. Let's see what 1 hour is doing. 1 hour has even printed sunshine for a sell. That's printed sunshine for a sell. So I'm looking at USD cards selling all the way from this point back into my trend, which is about 97 pips thereabout. I'm seeing USD cards sell in here before it now continues the trend, which you see on the 1 hour time frame to the upside. So we still have 97 pips thereabout for USD cards to sell into before the buying move resumes. But looking at the 5-minute time frame, I'm just going to pretty much repeat the same process that I saw or that I did on AUDUSD here. So you see the level that is currently pushing a USD card down, right? But if you look at this, you can see that it already broke below day before yesterday's high and retested. So this has even broken below and retested. This guy is going to go down a bit. I'm going to mark out this level as well. So that's pretty much what I have to mark. The day before yesterday's low coincides with yesterday's low. So we're just going to leave this to serve for the 2. Right? So this guy has broken below, retested. I'm seeing USD cards selling to the downside. Let's see. And this is an exact entry point right now for USD card to the downside. You see how it has broken below and retested our momentum. So I'm seeing USD cards selling. The first TP is going to most likely be the 5 minutes level which we marked, which is here, but it's really tight. So I would not advise you take partials at this level. It's about 15 pips. Let's see what our SL will be. Our SL will be 10 pips. So if we're targeting this level, being our first TP, it's really tight. That's like 1:1.5. But where I see USD card going to is first into this trend line or into this trend, which is about 26 pips. So this trade is kind of worth it. Your SL is 10 pips, and your first TP for me, which is a trend, 26 pips, then I see it's a good enough entry. And then if you just target the next level, which we have marked up, which is our yesterday's low. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it for USD CAD. And I believe we have a news coming out on USD CAD, but we'll look at it briefly. So let's look at NZDUSD. For NZDUSD, most times it tends to move in the same direction as AU, but in some conditions, they tend to move differently. All right, so for NZDUSD, what do we see? Down, sunshine has been printed to the downside. Then you go on the 1 hour time frame. And what do I see here? I'm seeing a buy sunshine already printed. So I'm seeing NZDUSD most likely buying into this level, which is the upward trend which we have here, before it now continues the overall trend. Because if you notice on all the pairs I've been looking at, what we're targeting is the trend. So it's like catching the reversals back to the trend to now follow the trend it is already going in, right? So this is a move back into this trend for us to now continue the downtrend, which you see our trend indicator showing. And that, I think I already calculated the pips, right? That's over 60 pips. Over 60 pips on NZDUSD. So I'm seeing a brief buy on NZDUSD before it most likely continue selling. So I'm pretty much repeating what I did on AU and UCAD. So what did I say I was looking to do on NZUSD right now? I'm looking to buy NZUSD briefly, targeting about 60 pips, right? You already see the 5-minute sunshine already printed. Looks like price has broken below yesterday's low and retested. So if I start buying NZUSD from here, my first target is the trend, because most times when price gets the trend, it reacts. So let's calculate our SL first. I always like to target the low. That now serves as my protected low or high if I'm selling. So I'm saying 14 pips SL. We could drag it up a bit and make it tighter. So this will now be about 12 to 13 pips SL. And my first TP being the trend could now be 16 pips. So we can't even take our first TP here. As my boss once mentioned, your first TP has to cover for your SL 2 times, right? So we can't even enter for our, we can't even take our first TP here. We need to wait for NZDUSD to at least trade into this low, which is now 29 pips. So this could now be our first TP target before we now say, at this point, you can now decide to either take partials or you wait for NZDUSD to trade all the way into this high before we now see the sell move continuing. So now I'm going to briefly look at Forex Factory to see the news releases we have coming out today. I think we have one coming out on NZDUSD. Okay, it's already open. So just give me a second to open up Forex Factory and see what we have here. So we see one GDP on Canadian dollar. You see GDP coming out today on Canadian dollar. And ideally, what we want to see on GDP is that it's actually greater than what was forecasted to come out. As you can see, it even shows it here. Once you click on this icon, it shows actual greater than forecast is good for currency. Now we're forecasting 0.3% coming out, but if it comes out higher than this, then it will strengthen the Canadian dollar even more, right? If it strengthens the Canadian dollar, what would happen to USDCAD? You should know this, knowing the base and quote currency and how they move. Whatever happens to Canadian dollar would eventually happen to USDCAD, right? So if we see, if this Canadian dollar comes out higher than expected, which would not mean the Canadian dollar currency is strong, we should be seeing more bearish moves for USDCAD. Then looking at NZD, so NZD has employment change and unemployment rates coming out at 11:45. We want to see the employment change higher than expected, and we want to see our unemployment rates lower than expected. If this guy comes out higher than expected and unemployment rate comes out lower than expected, then we're going to see more bullish moves for NZDUSD before it now either continues selling. But if this comes out lower than expected, then expect more bearish moves for USDCAD. And when I say lower than expected, I mean the employment change. And if unemployment rate comes out higher than expected, of course, it's bad for the currency. So yeah, that's pretty much it for what we're looking at today. That's pretty much what I'm looking at today on these commodity currency pairs, which I just walked through. Baba Ali, you said, at what occasion does sunshine fall? So Baba Ali, I've taught you this. I taught you this myself when we were taking the FS bootcamp on the indicator aspect of the FS bootcamp course. When I see sunshine printed, it basically indicates that profit taking has occurred. So whatever trend I was riding is gradually coming to an end, right? We went through this a couple of times. You can always revisit your material or even text me on WhatsApp and I'll respond to you to give you more clarity if you do not have that. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at on commodity currencies today. Let me know if you have questions before we proceed and call it a day. I'm going to check if my boss is here. So my boss isn't online at the moment. So let me know if you have questions before we call it a day, guys. And as earlier mentioned by my colleague, we have an event in Abuja next month. Get prepared for it. If you have to take permissions from work so you're fully available for that event, start working towards it now. It's going to be a 2-day event, value packed, right? We're going to be teaching you for free, right? Almost for free because somebody already paid for it, right? But we're going to be teaching you at no cost to you. So endeavor to be present when that event happens. Endeavor to be present. You're welcome, Baba Ali. What of commodity? Which commodities are sugar? you mean sugar because you just looked at commodity currencies. Okay, so that'll be tomorrow, sir. That'll be tomorrow. My colleague Lekon is going to look at gold tomorrow. All right, so are there questions? If there are no questions, we're going to call it a day here. Please remember that we post a number of trainings that would help you, especially as somebody who's just coming into this industry and knows next to nothing. Our trainings will take you from a total beginner down to an expert level, right? So enroll for our trainings. We have the FS Bootcamp course, which covers 3 curriculums at a very cheap price, if you ask me, very cheap. We have our ATM cash flow training, which is more synthetic indices, value packed. You also get our indicators for free. We have our Sunshine Scalping course and our ATM Plus for those who are not financially buoyant to go for the higher courses. This is for you, value packed as well. Whatever we do it to perfection. So you should enroll for that. Also, we have our bots, which can help you make passive income. Right? We have the Truth EA, we have Dr. Bill's GU bot, we have the bot for passing your prop firm challenge phases. If you think it's going to take you a long time, come for that. We also help you pass your challenge phases ourselves at a very little fee. So send a message to our WhatsApp number. It's going to be left in the chat box, and it's 081 60 99 50 30. Send a message for more inquiries, and we are going to respond to you. With that being said, if there are no questions, thank you so much for joining today's market corner session. We look forward to seeing you in the New York session by 3 p.m. Tell a friend to join. All right, so yeah, cheers and God bless.